Let me ask you something that might sting a little. How much of your life is truly your own? Not the job title on your LinkedIn profile, not the curated version of you that people double tap on Instagram, not even the responsible version that your parents are proud of. I mean you, the raw, unpolished, untamed self that existed before the world told you who you had to be. Do you even know that person anymore? For most of us, the answer is no. And it's not because we're weak. It's because from the very beginning, society trains us to trade authenticity for approval. We learn quickly that fitting in feels safer than standing out, that belonging feels easier than being different. And so, bit by bit, we hide pieces of ourselves away. But here's the painful truth. One day, you might wake up and realize you've built an entire life that doesn't belong to you. A career chosen for stability, a relationship chosen for comfort, dreams abandoned because they were too inconvenient, too risky, too different. And deep down, you'll wonder, what would my life look like if I had the courage to be myself? This is the question Friedrich Nietzsche wrestled with. A philosopher often called a madman, a rebel, and a prophet of existentialism. But beyond all the labels, Nietzsche was obsessed with one thing: helping human beings break free from the herd and finally become who they truly are. So in this video, we're not going to skim the surface with feel-good motivation. We're diving deep into Nietzsche's radical philosophy, distilled into 7 powerful keys that can help you face yourself, confront your fears, and transform your life into something that is unapologetically yours. And I'll be honest, what I'm about to share isn't easy. It's uncomfortable. It's confronting. But if you've ever felt like you're living on autopilot, or like your life belongs more to others than to you, this might be exactly what you need. And hey, before we dive in, if this already resonates with you, hit subscribe. Because here, we go beyond surface-level self-help. We get real, we get raw, and sometimes that's exactly what it takes to wake up. All right, let's begin. Step 1. Reject the herd mentality. Nietzsche believed that most of humanity lives as part of what he called the herd. It's not an insult, it's a description. Like animals in a herd, most people move together, think together, believe together. They find safety in numbers, in conformity, in doing what everyone else does. But here's the cost. Individuality dies in the herd. Creativity dies in the herd. Dreams are suffocated in the herd. Think back to your own life. Remember a time when you loved something, a passion, a dream, a crazy idea, but you gave it up because it made you stand out too much. Maybe it was a subject you loved in school, but people laughed, so you dropped it. Maybe it was a business idea you had, but friends told you it was too risky. Or maybe it was simply the way you dressed, the music you liked, the way you spoke, until slowly you learned to hide it. That is the herd at work, and Nietzsche warns us, the herd does not want you to shine. Because your courage exposes their fear, your originality reminds them of what they gave up. Look around. How many people do you know who've given up their dreams just to be accepted? Who've buried their originality just to be liked? And maybe, be honest with yourself, how often have you done it too? Nietzsche challenges us to rebel against this. Not rebellion for the sake of it, but rebellion for the sake of authenticity. He believed that if you truly want to become yourself, you must break free from the herd, even if it means ridicule, rejection, or standing alone. And yes, it's terrifying. Humans are wired to crave belonging. But here's the paradox. You'll never belong anywhere if you don't first belong to yourself. So, step one is this. Question the rules you've inherited. The ones that say, this is how you should live. This is who you should be. Ask yourself, did I choose this or did the herd choose it for me? Because the first step toward freedom is daring to step away from the crowd. Step 2. Embrace the struggle of self-discovery. Let's be real for a second. Finding yourself is not glamorous. It's not sitting on a mountaintop meditating in peace. It's messy, it's painful, and according to Nietzsche, it must be. He once wrote, "No price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." Think about that. No price is too high. That means loneliness. That means rejection. That means struggle. And yet it's worth it. But here's the problem. We live in a culture obsessed with comfort. Whenever life gets difficult, what do? We numb ourselves. We scroll. We binge. We distract. We drown it out. We avoid suffering at all costs. But Nietzsche says suffering isn't the enemy. It's the gateway. Because only through struggle do we grow. Only by facing the darkest parts of ourselves do we begin to uncover who we really are. Think of it like forging metal. Without fire, the sword stays weak. Without pressure, the diamond stays cold. And without struggle, the self stays buried. So here's the challenge. Stop running from your pain. Instead, lean into it. Ask, what is this struggle trying to teach me? When you feel jealousy, don't just suppress it. Ask what it reveals about your hidden desires. When you feel fear, don't just numb it. Ask what it reveals about the path you're avoiding. When you feel lost, don't just distract yourself. Ask what it reveals about the life you've been pretending to love. This is the work of self-discovery. And yes, it will make you a loner sometimes. It will separate you from people who prefer comfort over growth. But remember, you cannot own yourself if you're still owned by the fear of suffering. So step 2 is this. Embrace the difficulty. Don't look for the easy path. Look for the meaningful one. Because it's only through the fire that you'll finally meet the real you. Step 3. Confront your inner demons. Now that you've stepped away from the herd and embraced the struggle, Nietzsche says your next battle isn't out there. It's in here, inside you. Because the truth is, the greatest chains are not the ones society puts on you. The greatest chains are the ones you secretly put on yourself. We all carry inner demons: fear, guilt, shame, resentment. They whisper in your ear, telling you you're not enough, that you'll fail, that you don't deserve the life you dream of. Most of us spend our lives running from those voices, pretending they're not there. But Nietzsche tells us, don't run, confront them. This is where his thought overlaps with what Carl Jung would later call the shadow, the dark, hidden side of yourself. The parts you deny, repress, and hide from the world, the envy, the anger, the selfishness, the insecurity. It's uncomfortable to admit, isn't it? That you're not just the polite, kind, put-together version of yourself you show to others. That you also carry darkness. But Nietzsche believed that confronting this darkness is not optional. It's necessary. Because if you keep suppressing your demons, they don't disappear. They grow stronger in the shadows. They control you in ways you don't even realize. That sudden outburst of anger, that toxic relationship you can't leave, that constant self-sabotage, those are your demons running the show. So here's the challenge. Instead of pretending to be pure, admit you're human. Instead of suppressing your flaws, face them. Try this. Next time you feel jealousy, Don't shame yourself for it. Write it down. Ask, what does this jealousy reveal about my unmet desires? Next time you feel rage, don't bury it. Sit with it. Ask, what boundary of mine is being violated? Next time you feel despair, don't drown it in distractions. Explore it. Ask, what truth about my life am I refusing to face? Nietzsche doesn't want you to destroy your demons. He wants you to integrate them, to learn from them, to turn them into fuel. Because beyond the darkness lies a deeper strength, a truer self. Remember, the one who denies his demons becomes their slave, but the one who faces them becomes free. Step 4. Create yourself anew. Here's where Nietzsche gets radical. He doesn't just want you to find yourself, he wants you to create yourself. He once said, "We must become who we are." Notice that wording. It's not passive. It's not discover who you are. It's become who you are, actively, consciously, creatively. Think of your life like a canvas. Most people let others do the painting. Their parents, their culture, their religion, their peers. But Nietzsche says, take the brush back. Become the artist of your own existence. Ask yourself, if I were creating myself from scratch, what values would I choose? What kind of person would I build? What life would I design? This doesn't mean rejecting everything you've inherited. It means examining it, choosing consciously instead of blindly. Maybe you keep some of what you've been given. Maybe you throw the rest away. But the point is, you decide. And don't think this only applies to the big things like career or philosophy. It applies to the small daily choices too. The way you dress, the music you listen to, the way you spend your mornings. Every choice is a brush stroke. Every action is part of the art. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't create yourself, someone else will. If you don't build your identity, the herd will hand you one. Safe, predictable, comfortable, and dead. So Nietzsche's challenge is this. Don't just live, create. Become the sculptor of your own being. Even if it means breaking away from everything familiar. Even if it means reinventing yourself at 20, 40, or 70. Because you are not a finished product. You are a work in progress, and the masterpiece is waiting for you to pick up the brush. Step 5. Live dangerously. The courage to risk now. This is where Nietzsche takes a sledgehammer to comfort culture. He once declared, live dangerously. Build your cities on the slopes of Vesuvius. Send your ships into uncharted seas. What did he mean by this? That the greatest danger in life is not failure, it's safety. Think about it. How many dreams die quietly in the name of being practical? How many people stay in jobs they hate, in relationships that drain them, in towns that suffocate them, because it's safer than change? But here's the truth. Safety is an illusion. The job you cling to could vanish tomorrow. The relationship you settle for could collapse. The comfort you worship could turn to regret. Nietzsche's warning is clear. The longer you cling to safety, the more life slips through your fingers. So what does it mean to live dangerously? It doesn't mean being reckless. It doesn't mean throwing caution to the wind. It means daring to take risks in the direction of your authenticity. It means starting that project even if people laugh. It means speaking your truth even if it offends. It means pursuing that dream even if it terrifies you. Because here's the irony. The people we admire most, the artists, the inventors, the rebels, are not the ones who played it safe. They're the ones who risked everything for what mattered most to them. And yes, they failed sometimes. They were mocked sometimes. But they lived. They truly lived. So ask yourself, Where in your life have you chosen safety over authenticity? Where have you let fear decide for you? And more importantly, what would living dangerously look like for you? Because Nietzsche reminds us, playing it safe is the riskiest move of all. Step 6. Amor fati. Love your fate. Now we arrive at one of Nietzsche's most beautiful and radical ideas. Amor fati. The love of fate. Most people spend their lives wishing things were different, wishing they'd made different choices, been born into different families, had better luck, avoided mistakes. Regret becomes a constant shadow. But Nietzsche says, what if you didn't just accept your fate? What if you loved it? Amor fati means saying yes to every part of your life, the joys and the heartbreaks, the victories and the failures, the laughter and the tears. It means looking back at every mistake and saying, this too was necessary. This too belongs to my story. Think about it. Without your pain, would you have grown? Without your heartbreaks, would you have learned? Without your failures, would you have found resilience? Imagine if you could look at your entire life, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Imagine if every scar became a badge of honor. That's amor fati. It's not about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about embracing reality exactly as it is, because only then are you free to live fully. So the challenge is this. Instead of asking, why me? When life gets hard, ask, how can this shape me? Instead of resenting the past, practice saying, yes, this too is mine. Because when you stop fighting your fate and start loving it, life stops being a burden and becomes a masterpiece. Step 7. Eternal recurrence, the ultimate test. Finally, we come to Nietzsche's most haunting idea, eternal recurrence. He asks you to imagine this. What if a demon whispered to you one night and said, this life, exactly as you have lived it, you must live again. Every detail, every joy, every mistake, every heartbreak, over and over for eternity. How would you respond? Would you curse the demon? Would you beg for escape? Or would you embrace it, smile even, and say, yes, I would live this again gladly. This is the ultimate test of your life. Eternal recurrence forces you to ask, are you living in a way that you would be willing to repeat forever? If the thought terrifies you, then maybe you're living someone else's script. Maybe you've settled for the herd, chosen safety over risk, comfort over growth. But if the thought inspires you, if you could honestly say, yes, I would live this again, then you are on the path of authenticity. So let me ask you directly, if you had to live this life again and again, would you be proud or would you be haunted? So let's bring this all together. Nietzsche's 7 keys to becoming who you truly are. 1. Reject the herd mentality. 2. Embrace the struggle of self-discovery. 3. Confront your inner demons. 4. Create yourself anew. 5. Live dangerously. 6. Love your fate. 7. Pass the test of eternal recurrence. These are not easy steps. They demand courage, honesty, sacrifice. They might cost you comfort. They might cost you approval. They might even cost you relationships. But here's the question you have to answer. Would you rather be comfortably false or dangerously true? Nietzsche's philosophy is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who are tired of playing small, tired of living for others, tired of hiding their true selves. It's for those ready to burn down the false life they've been handed and create one that is authentically their own. So I'll ask you one final time, the same question I asked at the beginning. Whose life are you living? Yours or the herd's? If this spoke to you, don't let it fade the moment the video ends. Sit with it. Write about it. Make a decision today, even a small one, to reclaim your life. And if you want more videos like this, raw, honest, and challenging, make sure you're subscribed. Because here we don't just talk about philosophy, we live it. Until next time, be bold, be dangerous, and most of all, be yourself.